going on?
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Everything's pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, just so you don't forget. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you are sent an alert every time we release new content. And most importantly, tell a friend, have them join the conversation. We want to hear everyone's perspectives on this. Today, we are talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 1, episode 15, reunion part 2. Oh my God. I could not
This
process this.
this for me honestly was a bit much, only because I'm not. For me, it left me with a few more questions than answers. To be honest, like for example, it was the Mary show.
It
You know, it Andy asked her a lot of questions, but to be fair, she really wasn't involved question wise part one. So I kind of get it that we need to touch on her a little bit more. So I'm okay with that. But it just seemed like he was going at her kind of hard, but he was asking all the right questions. So I wasn't too mad based on what we've heard in the blogs, plus some of her family members coming out and speaking on things. He asked the right questions. I know it could come across as he was barraging her with questions, but it was like, well, no, these are like legit questions that we, the viewers, want answers to. And to Mary's credit, she did the best she could.
She responded to a lot of them in a roundabout
about
way.
It wasn't direct. It wasn't direct, but I was like, okay, at least you're answering them. And you know, I could see where not her personality. I could see why she acts the way she is. Because people come at her when they find out the details, and then there may be things she can't say, so she comes off as very defensive and like kind of shady. Like for example, on the show, she said like, well, her grandmother willed her to her grandfather. Like she said that on the show, but then the reunion, she said that there's no will, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, like he hit on a lot of good topics. He hit on her odor glands being removed. He hit on the hospital situation with Jen. He hit on the 7-Eleven issue and being scared if Black men are outside. He hit on what or wasn't said to her with regards to Jen and Lisa being scared. He hit on was she willed to her step grandfather by her grandmother. And he hit on whether her church is a cult. I didn't think that they were going to ask a question like that.
Me neither.
But I mean, these were all of the juicy, gossipy questions that we had. I'm not gonna lie.
No, we wanted to know because we're like, what's true, what's not, like, what's accurate, what's not. Like these are things that like the viewers we want to kind of know. And to both their credits, Andy asked the right questions. Mary answered them for the most part.
Some of them were very confusing, like the one about the 7-Eleven where it kind of got down to like at one point I thought she was saying she like white men, and I was just wait, what? But you married to a Black man, and then like she cleared that up after going around the mulberry bush by saying that she likes all different shades and colors of Black people, period, point blank, period. But then there was I think she has a problem with communicating, because I kind of got what she was saying. She's been married for 22 years. No marriage is perfect. There are ups and downs. But then she went off and saying some stupidness about how he's bought her every Chanel bag, and those bags mean a lot. What?
Yeah.
She lost me.
I think she was doing okay up until that point, and we're like, oh, okay.
I like that she owned that she called the congregation poor and stingy. But she said it was taken out of, I think she meant context. But she said another word. I was like, what? God. So it was about a verse in the Bible or something like that. Whatever, Mary girl, you go on. You do you. I think she was just overheating in that like dead dog she had wrapped around her neck.
She had to be hot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she had to be. But then again, she doesn't have odor glands anymore, so no one would know.
True. So true.
Did you even think about looking up what she said her disease was?
No, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
I listened to this show a couple of times, and of course, that was the first thing they went at her about. And I was like, should I try to look this up?
Mm-mm.
Nope. I'll ask Jamal.
I mean, the simple fact that I think he asked Heather, can they just remove your odor glands for just because you don't want to smell? I think Heather said no, they can.
No, Heather wanted to market it.
Oh, Heather
And
wanted
she
to
said,
market
yeah,
it.
and she
Got
was
it.
the one who asked, can you remove the glands,
That's right.
so that you won't smell? And Mary was like, no.
That I haven't switched. You're right, because I recall me now. I recall me like, oh, Heather's like a new marketing idea, a new procedure that you can offer.
But that's why Heather is successful. She always on the lookout for something, because in last week's episode, apparently she has got a new surgery to lift your knees, and Jen's on the list to get it. Like, she's always on the lookout for a new procedure or injection for her med spa. Bless her heart. I wish her the best.
Me too. Like she stays looking, so I'm not mad at her.
This episode, the only thing that I saw of value that we got out of Jen was her attempting to apologize for calling Mary a grandpa effer. And she sort of apologized.
Sort of is the key word. Sort of.
I think that's a stretch, but okay, we'll give it to her. Since that's the only thing we saw from her. You and I were talking about this before. Meredith disappeared in this episode.
Oh, Meredith was not here for it. You could tell Meredith was, yeah, she's like, I'm not doing this. And she's the one who left me with more questions because she was not coming to Lisa's defense. All she said was like, we're friends. Our friendship is in a good place. And that was it.
Yeah.
After she gave her statement, like, if anyone speaks about my family after this, you're not my friend. After that, it was kind of crickets.
Yep. She made those 3 statements and that was it. Everybody kind of like stepped away. But it wasn't like people weren't talking to her, because Lisa, like you said, Lisa kept on reaching out to her, is the best way that I could say it, like trying to get Meredith to reaffirm that they are friends.
Right.
It didn't come over from Meredith that was very genuine in the 2 times that she told her, we're friends, we're good.
Right. It was more like the more pageant-y kind of answer, like we're friends. We're
or like
good.
the typical Meredith. This is the face that I have for the camera that I want you people to see. We're fine. We're just fine.
This one for me had a little bit more to it, given the fact that on the last episode, Meredith was a bit upset with Lisa for being friends with Jen after what Jen said about Lisa's about Meredith's marriage, when they're supposed to be good friends. She's in her mind, she's like, well, you're supposed to be my best friend, my ride or die. Like, how are you gonna be friends with this person who did this to me? Okay, I'm gonna take a step back. And you can kind of see that. Then you flash forward to this episode. Heather was going in on Lisa about her friendship with Meredith. Like, Heather was like, you would think Heather was Meredith's like defender, bulldog, because she kept going and going and going. And from my recollection, Meredith did not stop her or refute anything that Heather had to say. Nope. So I'm looking at that situation like, this is interesting.
Yep. And Lisa kept on reaching out to Meredith for a lifeline, which Meredith was not throwing her way. She just left
None.
it. She just left it. And Heather went on the attack this episode. She really went in on Lisa. Lisa was totally on the defensive and behaved like a cornered rat at one point. They went into that little segment break or something where they, I guess, were supposed to go and use the facilities or get something to eat or whatever. But they stayed on set arguing. And it just boiled down to Heather and Lisa going at it. I really don't know what that accomplished. Lisa didn't come off very good in this episode to me. I'm sorry. From the little sing-song thing about Whitney and Heather are like bad weather.
Yeah, that was bad. She tried. It just no. And Heather's like, good try. It fell flat. I went, oof.
And Heather was like, welcome to your show. What? Oh, and Heather caught her in something good because Andy asked a question about how come you kept on saying that you didn't know Heather.
Right.
And Heather was like, yeah, I want to know that too, since you recommended me for the show. Or do you just go around and recommend people that you don't know for your show?
I was just going to go to that was my next question. I was going to bring it up, like, good job. And Lisa kept stumbling. She couldn't answer. I'm like, no. Lisa, what is the big deal about not knowing Heather? My only thing is this, and we've talked about this before. I really feel that Lisa looks down at Heather because she is a divorced Mormon. She breaks all the Mormon rules, this, and that. Lisa, in some ways, feels like she's above Heather, but I don't really feel that's the case because Heather was still born into it. You can't ever, you really can't ever get above that, to be completely honest. No matter how society treats her, how, you may feel, she's still born into Mormon royalty. She was married to Mormon royalty. Her kids are born into Mormon royalty. That is something Lisa will never have. It's just not possible.
And that's okay. So like you said, Heather is Mormon royalty, whether she's excommunicated or not. She's Mormon royalty. She married Mormon royalty. She has given birth to Mormon royalty. Lisa is not originally Mormon. She there's references to Judaism or not being particularly religious or whatever, but she has adopted this religion. I really feel she's jealous of Whitney and Heather for being from royalty, and she looks down on them because, true, she can't be them, but she's almost of the opinion, you have come from these top families in this religion and you have done something so stupid. Why can't I have been this? I think she's almost jealous of the status that cannot be removed from them because of who they are.
She's like, how can I put this? Why didn't this happen to me? I deserve it. I work hard.
Yes. I was just going to say that. It popped into my head. She feels that they don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be Mormons. They don't deserve to be from those families. She deserves it because she knows how to be Mormon, and obviously they don't. You're right. She's a mess.
It's just for some reason, her whole mask just fell off this episode. And Heather was not playing. Heather
broke her.
Heather just was frustrated. She couldn't take it. It's just interesting. I've heard other takes on this, how people well, I didn't like Heather on this episode. I always find it interesting when people don't like someone when they finally get frustrated and defend themselves. Heather's been the punching bag this whole season, if we're being honest, up until the last couple of episodes. But now, when the mouse fights back, you have a problem. I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah, Heather's just more aggressive than we're used to. I think she just hit her breaking point. She couldn't handle it. I mean, we saw it at her launch. She was going in on Jen at her launch. So Why do you think that her attitude would change from her launch to the reunion? I mean, if she's willing to do this at her launch, like her new her new site opening, right? If she's willing to do this at her own event now, where the host should be like on oh my gosh, how are you? Thanks for coming. If she's willing to do that there, what makes you think she's not going to do that at the reunion, if not worse?
I think Lisa underestimated the inner strength that they either had or developed over the season. I mean, Whitney and Heather. I think she seriously underestimated that because she was used to all of these years attacking the two of them. I firmly believe that Heather has her receipts from college when they first met and how they've known each other for 20 years. And I also firmly believe, because the one person that Lisa attacked the most was Heather. And look how she attacked her. She said, whose head got the biggest during the show? And she said, it was Heather. But she wasn't expecting Heather to actually fight back. And she got taken down a peg when she did. And then, in addition to that, Whitney coming with her truth, saying that Lisa has been attacking her this whole time because she firmly believed that she did not deserve her seat there with the snowflakes. And it's true, because wasn't Whitney supposed to be a friend? I mean, yeah, a friend of the show. She wasn't supposed to be a snowflake.
I think I did hear something about that.
Then I think that rumor might be true, because again, it has been revealed that Lisa was the one who was recommending these people. So, you wanted to bring in the most damaged one so that you would have a punch toy throughout the whole season, Heather. And then you wanted to keep the slut on the sidelines, Whitney, so that you'll have a secondary or a backup punch toy. And insult them the whole season and look your nose down on them from your perch of superiority. The two, anointed, family generation Mormons, you wanted to show them as the dirt of the Mormon society on this season. That's what you wanted to do. But instead, these two women shined and they outshone you on this series, as bad as it was, because in essence, Lisa has nothing to give. Lisa is one-dimensional.
Yeah, she's a workaholic.
Not even that interests me. No. But yeah, I think Heather and Whitney really showed up, especially Heather. And what few things Whitney said hit spot on. They hit their target spot on. Heather, she demolished Lisa to the point of tears, where she ran back to her husband at the end of the episode. And what did she say when she was everyone came back to set and they're like, where's Lisa? And Lisa's like, they could do it without me or something like that.
Right.
It looks like she's walking off. I know it's probably the edit, but
yeah. But the interesting thing is, I think this was before that, where was it before or after they came back? Help me out with this one, because the last thing that I remember that was really important was when they took their break. Whitney was hungry, so Whitney was walking around, and Lisa went to talk to Meredith. It was like she was pleading with Meredith for help.
Yes.
And Meredith really wasn't giving her anything. And then Lisa and Heather kept going. And Meredith was just sitting there. Whitney's like, you know what? I need an Advil. Yes. So Whitney was going to go get her Advil, and not Heather. I don't know why I want to say Heather. Meredith said, I'll go with you.
Yeah. And she excused herself. And while Lisa was sitting right there in front of her, she was on the coffee table, and Meredith was on her chair. And she was begging her to confirm their friendship again, because she did this several times in this episode. Meredith just looked at her. but
Mm.
she didn't give her what Lisa wanted.
No.
Like, Lisa wanted an ally. Lisa wanted somebody to do battle with her. But I think she was looking at the wrong person, because Meredith doesn't strike me as someone who's going to, like, verbally go at it with anyone in public. She's just not.
Exactly. And then towards the end, when Lisa walked by Heather, they said they had another little spat, and just Heather just put her hand out like, I'm good. I was
Yeah,
like,
because Lisa said, I don't know why you keep going backwards. I just want to go forwards. And Heather said, I'm not going forward with you.
or she said, or something to the effect like, I'm not interested right now, or something in that vein.
Yeah, she just dismissed her. What Lisa has been doing to these women the entire series, the entire season, got done to her. Heather dismissed her. And that's when she was like, can someone get me John? Like, who's running to get John? Go to your dressing room and John will be there.
Another interesting, because that was pretty much the end of the episode, but I did notice one thing, this segment. Jen really didn't say much.
No,
She was
like I said, the only thing was the
observing.
apology for the grandpa effer. She didn't jump into anything.
No.
She sat there with her head down a lot.
It was interesting because I was like, do you know something about these situations that you're not telling us? Because the way she was sitting, like, normally Jen will interject herself into things or ask questions, things of that nature. Like, none of that. And Mary didn't interject either. So there has to be something behind the scenes we really don't know yet. There's still a part 3, I'm curious.
I think Heather also put a pin in Jen for now, because she accused her of trying to level up in friendships.
Fair.
And I think Jen might have, like, acknowledged that internally, that she was doing that. She was trying to level up in her friendships, and that kind of deflated her for now. And who knows, maybe she wanted to salvage her relationship with Heather by keeping quiet while Heather was going in on Lisa.
Fair. She's like, might try to repair this, so I'm not gonna jump in. Lisa got this.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, Mary, in the first part, Mary was chiming in, how should I say this? Like, she was giving backup on every little subject. This time, I think because the first part of the episode was focused on direct questions to her, I think she had enough. Like, Mary can only say so much before she just shuts down. And then towards the end of the episode, when it got into that Lisa-Heather argument, I don't think she had any information on that. Like, at points, she was like, what is going on here? So I think for once, she didn't say anything because she didn't know anything, which is amazing.
Exactly. I mean, I think we hit everything for. It was an interesting episode, which kind of, I'll be honest, this episode actually held my interest more than the first 10 to 12 episodes of the season, and this kind of makes me want to see season 2 now, because I want to see where these friendships are.
Well, hold that thought on season 2, because we still have part 3 to go through, right?
We do, but I'm saying, just if they cut the reunion here, this would pique my interest for season 2.
For season 2, okay.
Right. Even though we have a third part, yeah.
I don't want to give them that much grace, because I still feel they could screw it up.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think we've hit all of the points of this second part of the reunion. Let us know your comments. Leave them below for us. We do read them and we respond. Again, if you like our review, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you're sent an alert every time we release new content. And most importantly, tell a friend. Have them join the conversation. We like yakking about this stuff. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.